few months ago, I reviewed this BetaFPV 75 Pro Whoop. And at the time, I honestly thought that it was just about the most fun that you could have with a Whoop. But I was wrong. Well, sort of. Because this little bundle of fun, the BetaFPV Air75, is even better. It weighs just 21 grams, which means you can fly it almost anywhere, indoors, outdoors, parks, gardens, wherever. And the best part, it's quiet and safe enough that you're not going to bother anyone. You won't scare the dog, you won't annoy the neighbours. Just tuck it in your pocket, grab your goggles, your radio, and a handful of 1S lipos, and off you go. And I've probably flown about 50 packs through this thing already. And honestly, I just can't leave it alone. It's just so much fun. The tune is totally dialed in. It's nimble but solid. You can fly it slow and smooth, or some fast acro if you like, and it still holds up. It's like BetaFPV took this 75 Pro and trimmed away everything that didn't spark joy. Hello, and welcome to the Whirly Bloke channel. Now, I know I'm a little bit late reviewing this Air75. It's been out for quite a while. I actually ordered mine months ago, but for various daft reasons, it never got delivered. But you know what? That's probably a good thing. Because since its original release, BetaFPV have made some changes that address a lot of the early feedback. The factory tune on this has been vastly improved, and it now looks and feels pretty much spot on. And they've updated the all-in-one flight controller to their new 5-in-1 version. It's the first 1S board to use the more powerful G473 processor, and it integrates everything: flight controller, ESC, OSD, and a built-in 5.8 GHz VTX with adjustable power between 25 and 400 milliwatts. As you can see, it's a little diamond shape board. Fantastic. But more importantly, it now has a serial ELRS 2.4 gig receiver built right into the PCB. The older original versions used a little piggyback ELRS board mounted on the top. But this one is fully integrated, and that makes this lighter. It's only 3.6 grams, and it's a much cleaner setup and dead simple binding. There's no SDI shenanigans. Just power it via USB, wait for the fast blinking green LED, and that means the Wi-Fi hotspot is working. Connect from your computer and to your bind phrase, job done. Very simple. It's running BetaFPV's 0802 SE 23,000 kV motors paired with these GemFam 40mm 2-blade props. The older 75, this one used 19,500 kV motors. And by comparison, well, that's the same size. This looks a whole lot bigger. The frame is brilliantly durable, and I actually bought a spare frame when I ordered this, but despite plenty of hard crashes, there's no real damage. I noticed down here this morning there is a little stress mark just there. I mean, I've been out and about on this for so many packs, and there's a few scuffs on the props for sure, but the frame is still actually really solid. It also uses the same CO3 camera as the 75 Pro, which is totally fine for what it is. And at 21 grams, the whole thing is 4 grams lighter. BetaFPV recommend their Lava 450 mAh 1S lipos, and I don't have any of those. So I've been using their 550s. They still fit in the battery tray under here, which is fine. Slide in quite nicely. And with these in place, the all-up weight of this, 35 grams. Flight time-wise, you're looking at around 3 minutes if you're flying really hard, or 4 minutes plus if you're just cruising around. Now, there's no USB connector on the board itself. That's one of the ways they've shaved a bit of the weight. But they do include this little USB pigtail. You just plug that in there and then plug your USB in here. And also in the box you get a spare canopy for the camera and a spare set of props. Really is a fantastic little thing. Looks a bit beaten up because I've been flying it so much. So let's take a quick look inside Betaflight configurator and see how BetaFPV have set this up. That's all connected, fantastic. It's been flashed with Betaflight 4.5.0, so it's up to date, which is nice. And the target is the BetaFPV G473. And that's part of the upgrade to that new 5-in-1 flight controller that's got the built-in ESC, OSD, VTX and the serial ERS all baked into the PCB itself. So it's a very clean build, and that's reflected in the ports tab. I mean, you've just got this one here, which is the MSP for your USB connection to Betaflight. Then you've got UART2, which is being used for VTX with smart audio, and then UART3 is being used for the ELRS receiver. All very nice and neat. Now, if we go over and have a look at the PID tune, this is where BetaFPV have made some real improvements. Compared to the earlier tune, the P and the D values have been refined to make the quad feel a lot more stable, especially in acro mode. And previously, this feed forward was cranked right up here. They've dialed it back a bit, and that's what helps smooth out those twitchy stick movements and stops the quad from overreacting when you make fast and quick moves. The result is a much more predictable and controlled feel, both indoors and outdoors. But it doesn't compromise the acro performance. They've also tweaked the dynamic damping from the original. I don't think that had any on the original tune, if I remember correctly. Look at the filtering. They've tightened it up a little bit. The gyro low pass filters, let's see, they are set more conservatively to keep things a little bit cool, and that keeps the quad even quieter. And the dynamic filtering here is doing a good job at keeping the motor smooth. And if you're a beginner or you just want to fly right away, you really don't have to change much here. This stock tune is genuinely very good. But if you do tweak it, make sure to back up your CLI diff first. And don't forget to look at the rates. You can tweak these quite happily. This is what BetaFPV has set, and it's quite reasonable. And they've even profiled the throttle and added some expo, which, as you'll probably know, is one of my pet peeves. This is set just right. If we look at the configuration, they've just done everything right. Even the arm angle is set to 180, so you can arm it upside down, which is great. It's all very, very nice indeed. And certainly a big improvement from what they had in the original tune. Now, one thing to keep in mind with the built-in VTX is the power level. It goes from 25 milliwatts all the way up to 400 milliwatts, which is great if you're flying further out or you need to punch through some obstacles. But realistically, for most Whoop style flying, 25, 100 or 200 milliwatts is more than enough. Cranking it up to 400 milliwatts does give you a stronger signal, but it also generates more heat and it will shave a chunk off your flight times. So unless you're flying in a really noisy RF environment or doing longer range freestyle, I'd keep it lower to get the most out of your battery. Now, I've been flying this at 200 milliwatts most of the time, and it's absolutely fine. So, all things considered, the BetaFPV Air75 is an absolute belter of a Whoop. It's light, tough, it flies beautifully, and it doesn't come with any of the usual tiny quad faff. And at around $95 or £70 in the UK, it's decent value too, especially with this upgraded 5-in-1 flight controller and the built-in ERS. Unless, of course, you're ordering from the US, in which case brace yourself for the delightful tariffs. Still, even with the extra charge, it's a real hoot. Just don't tell customs how much fun it is. Now do let me know your thoughts on this tiny Whoop in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, give me a thumbs up, and if you're new here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.